Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. I hope you're all doing well today. Today we are going to talk about Christmas knitting. Is that something that you do for your friends and family? Do you knit for them? I've done that before where I knit almost everybody a gift, and then I realized not everybody really wants a hand knitted gift from myself. So there were those friends and family who really liked that, but then there were those who didn't. So today we're going to be talking about what do you knit for friends and family, and I'm also going to show you some very easy patterns that you can make, something that you could take anywhere with you, to soccer games, to doctor's offices, waiting for appointments, to waiting while you're picking up your kids. You could do a few rows. Today I'm going to show you 3 that are super simple to do that you don't even have to carry a pattern around. And then every Monday I'm going to show you a new pattern that I think would make a beautiful gift. And the things I think that these patterns would work the best for me, I'm more of a scarf person or a shawl person or a cowl. Those are kind of my things that I like to give. And scarves can be given to men. It's not just a stigma that, if you knit a shawl or a wrap, they have to be given to women. They can be given to men. So let's get into a little bit of the details before I get into the patterns, since I will have to change the view. To knit a scarf, here, let's just kind of use this as an example. This is going to be one of my swatches. To knit a scarf, most scarves are between 6 and 8 inches. So when you look at this pattern, it's given an account of stitches. To know how many stitches you need to cast on to do the pattern, you look at how many stitches it takes to do the pattern and expand that out to the width that you want to make it. So like you want to make the scarf 6 to 8 inches. 6 to 8 inches. Let me say that clearly. So like it would need to be enough, that's 8 inches. You would need enough stitches to cover the length of this knitting needle here. So I need to cast on, but it has to be also in the multiple that the pattern requires. I'll get into that a little bit more, but I just wanted to explain that a little bit. 6 to 8 inches for scarves. Sorry about that. It almost fell off the couch. And let me go back for the scarves. You can knit them as long as you want. If you like to wrap the scarf around your neck several times, you kind of know the person you're going to be knitting for, and you can make it for however their personality is. You know some of the things that they like to wear. If they like long scarves, make the scarf extra long. If they like shorter scarves, then make them a shorter scarf. That's the beauty in making this yourself. You can make it whatever it is that would be perfect for them. Most shawls are 30 to 45 inches long and up to 75 to 85 inches that way. I'm talking about 30 to 45 inches wide, 75 to 85 inches long. If it's rectangular, it's going to be 30 to 45 inches this way, 70 to 85 inches this way to wrap it around you. Base it on the preference of the person. If they want to wrap up in something, make it longer. If they want something just to kind of put on their shoulders, or maybe just more wrap around their necks or wear around their sweaters in the winter, make it a little bit smaller. The other thing, you could also make a rectangular shawl into a cowl. You can knit it flat. Most cowls are 8 to 12 inches in length, 18 inches tall, maybe 26 inches around. Some are 11 inches tall. So, those are some numbers I looked up online just to see what the average was when people make these items. If you knit it flat, you can knit it back and forth and then seam the ends. Like, oh, I don't really have a great example here. I don't have anything really long, but say like this is the cowl. You just seam the two ends together. This is a bad example. And then you would have, you know, just seam it along the edge here. Or you could knit it circularly, where you get a circular needle and just connect them, mark your beginning of round, and just go around in the circle. And you're going to be knitting on one side. You're not going to knit on the back side. You're going to knit on the front side of this of the cowl. So that is something you have to think about. But it, you know, you may absolutely love it. I am giving a little bit more beginner level patterns today. After that, I'm going to pick a little bit harder patterns, and I'll do one a week for like 7. I think I've got 7 patterns I'm going to showcase that I think would be good for a guy. Some may be a little girly, but most are unisex. So that's going to be my series I'm calling Let's Get Ready for Christmas Knitting. So today I'm going to show you the 3 simplest patterns that I can think of to knit. And again, I'm thinking that these would be great to make in a scarf, in a stole, or in a cowl. However, a lot of patterns have these patterns in them, and it, you know, to make other items. So you will recognize these as I talk about them. But I'm going to show you how to knit all 3 of them, and we'll go from there. Okay, let me change the angle to my hands so that you can see. Or maybe I should explain it first. I want to kind of get a joke in here because, man, I'm just having a rough time with this today. Forgive me. My swatches, I knitted these up, and I didn't realize I was going to be showing these together. But it's kind of funny because one is red and one is green, and we're talking about Christmas today. So, you know, it looks like I planned it that way, but I didn't. So I'm not that smart. Anyway, all right, here we go. Okay, the first stitch we're going to talk about is the garter stitch. This is the garter stitch. Everybody knows the garter stitch. It's a wonderful pattern to knit, super simple. The great thing about the garter stitch is that you can, there's no multiples of stitches to worry about when doing the pattern. So you can cast on as many stitches as you need the project to be wide. You know, you just, if it needs to fill this whole knitting needle, you just cast on the number of stitches to fill this up, and then start knitting. The other great thing about the garter stitch is that you can do this in a variegated yarn, and the color changes will still show up. Sometimes when you knit a lace pattern, the variegation will compete with the lace pattern, and so it's hard to see. But with garter stitch, you really don't have that. So it's nice to use with a solid yarn or a variegated yarn. So there's another advantage to the garter stitch. To knit the garter stitch, easy as pie. That's what makes it so wonderful to carry with you anywhere you want to take it. You know, where you might be waiting. You knit every stitch. That's all there is to making this pattern. You knit every stitch, and then when you get to the other side, you're just going to turn it over and knit that side too. You knit all the stitches on the front and all the stitches on the back. It just couldn't be easier than that. So you don't have to worry about what row am I on of my pattern. You don't have to count. You don't have to keep up with it. You just start knitting, and you just make this as long and as wide as you need it to be. And that's why it's a beautiful pattern to start with. That's what makes it so wonderful and easy to use for Christmas stitches, Christmas presents, because you can, you know, go pretty fast. You don't have to think very much. You can knit on this while you're, when you have a little spurts of time, or maybe when you're sitting down watching a movie. It's something that you don't really have to think about a lot. When you get to the other side, I just knitted that first side. You just turn over and you start knitting that. You knit every stitch on the back side. And I won't make you watch me do that. But when you get done, what you get is this This is Garter Stitch. You get these beautiful ridges, and it's super stretchy and just really, it's a really pretty pattern to use. And the other great thing about Garter Stitch, so here's the third great thing about Garter Stitch, is that it's reversible. It looks the same on both sides. Oh, sorry, I thought I got that little string off there. It looks the same on both sides, so you don't have to worry about which side that you're on, which is a really nice thing. So that's the first stitch I wanted to show you. The second stitch I'm going to show you is pretty much just as easy. This is another super easy pattern. This is Stockinette stitch. And most people who've seen anything knitted, this is the favorite. This is what you usually see is Stockinette stitch. These are just regular knitted stitches. This is the right side, which looks like regular knitted stitches. And this is the wrong side, which is just purl stitches. And one of the things about stockinette is that it does tend to curl on the edges. So if you are making a scarf or a stole, you probably want to build in put 3 or 4 stitches on each edge and just knit every one of those stitches. It'll make a garter stitch edge, but it'll keep it from curling in like this is doing right now. Anyway, this project I'm working on is going to be gathered, so I don't need to worry about that. They're going to be gathered together, so you won't see that. Anyway, to do stockinette stitch, it's super easy. You don't have to think about that either. When you're on the right side, you're going to knit all the stitches. So you can see those look like knitted stitches. So all you do on row 1 is you just knit all the stitches. Couldn't be easier than that. So again, it makes it really nice. You don't have to worry about what part of the pattern am I on. Am I on the repeat section of the row? Am I on the, where am I in my pattern? If you're on the right side, you're going to knit all the stitches. I think I'm hitting the camera. Sorry about that. I've got myself in a weird angle. I'm trying out this tripod, and I don't think I like it. If you like this height, I usually am a little bit closer to my hands than this. So if this is too far away, put a comment down below. Also, while I'm doing this, I would like to say that I would just love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I am doing a giveaway. There's on my last whack video, I talk about the giveaway. I would love for you to join the giveaway. You have to be a subscriber to my channel to join the giveaway, but I am giving away a $50 gift card to either a yarn store or to Amazon, and I'm going to do that once a month until I reach 1,000 subscribers. We still got a ways to go. I think as of today I'm at 23 subscribers. So every month I'm going to give away a $50 gift card to either you get to pick a yarn store or to Amazon. I would pick usually Webs because they have a good variety, but you could also pick Etsy. They have a lot of crafting supplies as well, and the options would be endless if you pick that. The other thing I want to mention is I lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back to me. Anyway, when you get to the end, like I said, you probably want to, if you're going to do a scarf or a stole, because you don't want it to roll, you probably would add a few extra stitches and just knit those. But for the pattern, for the stockinette pattern on row 2, this is a 2-row pattern. On the second row, this is what the back looks like. It looks like purl stitches, right? It looks like that garter stitch a little bit. What you're going to do for row 2, you're going to purl all the stitches. So you're going to do what the pattern looks like. On the front, it looks like knit stitches, so you knit. On the back, it looks like purl stitches, so you purl. And you purl every stitch until you get to the end. And then when you get to the end, you're back on the right side, so you just knit the stitches. That's all there is to the stockinette pattern. Is you row 1, you knit, which is on the right side. Row 2, you purl, which is on the wrong side. And you repeat until you make the item as long as you need it to be. There, maybe that can move faster. That was in my way. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think about what I was supposed to say a while ago. I can't remember. My brain's not working today. Anyway. Oh, I know what I think I know what I was going to talk about. I will also be showing, since September for me is going to be a push to start thinking about Christmas knitting, I also have 3 other patterns that I knitted around Christmas last time. One is called the Advent Scarf 2019, and the designer does that design every year, so she'll have one for 2020 probably. And then there's the Advent Stole, which I did before Christmas last year. And then I also had the 12 Days of Knitmas. And once I get those videos published, I'll put a link up above. They're not, I have recorded them, but they're not edited yet. My husband's working on that. So once they get, everything all gets edited and published, I'll put all the links up there above. But these are 3 projects I worked on last year before Christmas. And I think 2 of them I know for sure are going to happen again. The Advent Stole and the Advent Scarf. And these are great projects that you can do. Sometimes you can get those beautiful Advent yarn packages from yarn stores that are like, you know, 20 or actually 24. You might even get a skein a day, but you get little mini skeins every day that you can open every day before Christmas to treat yourself, you know. And these are, you know, little, you could use every one of those little skeins for your scarf if it works out that way for the math on the yarnage and all that stuff, but the yardage and stuff, sorry. Anyway, once you finish the second row, you turn it over, and here you are again on the right side, so you knit. So you knit on the right side, purl on the back side. Couldn't be easier. You don't have to worry about where you are. You can easily pick it up. And I don't think I mentioned this either. There's no worry about it. It's for any number of stitches. You don't have to worry about, this is a multiple of 4 plus 2. You can just cast on as many stitches as you need the project to be wide. So that's another beautiful thing about doing stockinette. Now, a variation of stockinette, you still treat it the same, but you change it up a little bit. It's called reverse stockinette, which would look like this. This would become the right side. This would become the wrong side. So, same thing for your stockinette. You just reverse the sides. You still would purl this side. You still would knit this side, but the right side would become the back side. The right side would become this side. The wrong side would become this side. And it is a popular pattern because some people prefer the look of this over the look of this. To me, this looks a little bit more masculine, more textured. So, you know, I could see making this in a scarf and giving it to, you know, your son, your son-in-law, someone you love, you know, that's male. But, you know, women like it too. I'm not saying it's gender specific. But anyway, that's stockinette, reverse stockinette, and garter stitch. Those are 3 super easy patterns that you could do for Christmas gifts to make and take along with you. Again, I'm suggesting scarves, stoles, and cowls. If you have any questions about any of this, I'm keeping it really top level, super high, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the comment below. I'd love to answer your questions. Please, you know, if you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. And I hope you're all getting exciting for your Christmas knitting for 2020. And let's get some really fun stuff made for all of our friends and family.